My name is Kim Williams. I am a change strategist. I have been leading in the nonprofit sector for 20 years. I'm currently the CEO of Interfaith Housing Coalition. I've also been running my own change management consulting firm for 10 years called Kim Williams Consulting. I didn't really choose this career. It kind of chose me. I've always loved helping people, which is why I chose a career in the nonprofit sector. And shortly after starting, right in the middle of actually college, I learned that I also had a knack for leading. And every position that I had was during a time of change. So I've led 2 startups. I've led through a merger. I've accepted a position with a declining agency. So I've always been hired during times of transition, and it's really helped me to thrive. I think there's a couple of things. One is vision. During change, you have to have your eye on, where you're trying to go. And that's really what I do. The first, whenever I come into a challenging situation, I look for the end game first. And I think the other is faith, because you just never know what the process is going to entail. Strategy is important, but overall, you have to have faith in the vision. So those 2 things are kind of natural for me, and they've really helped me. I think it's really true. People don't like change, but as we realize that change is inevitable, we're always changing. Our surroundings are changing. Our families are changing. And I think we just have to learn to embrace it. And one thing that I've learned over, the course of my life is that you have to be comfortable with the unknown. The sooner we begin to accept the fact that we're not going to be able to predict how life is going to go, the better off we'll be. And that's really hard for type A leaders like myself, who want a strategy and a backup plan for everything. But that's really where I feel like you have to embrace the faith side of life. You don't know what's going to happen, and be okay with that. Looking back, the older you get, the easier it gets, because you can look back over your life and see a strand of things that you didn't plan and see that they worked out anyway. And so that helps build your faith over time. But I think just embracing the fact that you can't control everything. Honestly, my proudest achievement is being a mom. I think watching my oldest son, all of my children, but my oldest son is getting ready to go to college, and watching him develop over the course of his life has been the most exciting, amazing thing. I think he's really one of the reasons why I've been able to adapt, because all the different phases of his life, the ups and the downs, the pressure, the strain, watching him go through those things, and then being mindful of the fact that I needed to be a good example to him has really helped me. Kids have a way of making sure that you're walking your talk. And he's done that for me. He's been both a part of my accountability as well as my inspiration. So I think I'm most proud of that. That's a hard one. And this is going to sound kind of selfish, but that's okay. I think what's inspired me the most is me. I started off having, a low self-esteem. I masked that in confident leader speak and walk. But I really had a lot of doubts as to whether or not I was as good as I felt I was, whether or not I could do the things that I'd been hired to do. And I would go after my dreams, and then I would have this amazing anxiety, which is now known as a imposter syndrome, and now it's a name and everything. But when I was first starting out, it didn't. It was just this nagging voice that said, "You're not all that," and you're going to get found out. But I think I'm most inspired by the fact that I've continued to go after, whatever dream I have, and walk through open doors, even though I've been incredibly nervous. So oddly enough, has been my inspiration. I am always inspired by other leaders, by change makers, by courageous people. That I love to surround myself by people who are going after their dreams. Number one, they remind me that I'm not odd, because in a world that really, believe it or not, values assimilation, it's difficult to find people who are willing to be different. And so that really inspires me, no matter what the industry is, no matter what the dream is, being around people who are courageously pursuing their dreams is the ultimate in inspiration. I define success as fulfilling one's purpose. And really, I would kind of push that back. I think I define success as identifying and then subsequently fulfilling one's purpose. I think that we should all pursue the reason why we were created. We should look at our gifts and talents and our passion and build a life around it and not be ashamed to do that. So I think that's success. If I could talk to a younger Kim, I would tell her not to listen to the noise. I have, been influenced by so many voices, some good, but a lot of them not so good. And I would tell her to get to know the real you so that you know when someone's trying to make you something that you're not. I spent so many years that I can't get back trying to fulfill other people's expectations. And that just doesn't satisfy. And now that I am getting to know myself and really pursuing my dreams, I couldn't be happier. So that's what I would tell her. Forget all those other folks. Just do you, girl. I've had a lot of loss in my life, but fortunately it's been people that were, had lived long lives, fulfilling lives, inspiring lives. So while it was sad, we were able to rejoice in that. I think one of the most traumatic things that happened to me was actually in my career. I took over an agency that was 25 years old, faith-based, and it always had internal leadership. And so I come in from the outside with this big vision and desire to change, and folks just didn't like it. And they really didn't like me. And what happened is a contingency of the team went to talk to my board about me, and unbeknownst to me, and just really made me feel really bad. Fortunately, everything worked out. My board could see what I was doing, but I'd always valued my reputation. And to suddenly have my professional reputation attacked made me doubt everything about me. And I wondered if I could survive it. I wondered if it was worth it. And being able to make it through that, being able to really learn that when you believe in something, it doesn't matter what people say or who comes against you, that you can survive. That has been the best thing that ever happened to me. Being on the other side of that, still leading the agency, us thriving, it's been awesome. So it was hard. It was incredibly hard. But it's actually, I wouldn't take anything for it. I'm glad, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad it happened. What I haven't done that I want to do is just help more agencies on a broader scale. I think that's kind of the next frontier for me. I want to be able to help more leaders and more agencies go through change. And that's really it. I like doing what I'm doing. I just want my influence and impact to expand. I spend time with my husband and kids. They are crazy. And particularly my 6-year-old daughter, who is 10 times the personality that I am. She's not afraid of anything. She loves to dance. She'll make a joke out of anything. And spending time with her and both of my sons, my son Brian is amazing, my son RJ. That's when I have fun. We go out, we eat, they play a lot of sports. So being with them is the best thing ever. So that's how I have fun. I think it's just a matter of priorities. What I've learned is to be me everywhere. So I may not be the baking mom or the art project mom. I'm not. So I have moms I go to and say, hey, my kid has a project, can you help? but I am a coach and I am a cheerleader and I am that in the office and I'm that at home. And so learning to embrace yourself in both arenas adds value to both arenas. I think balance is often thrown off when you're trying to be a different person at home. So once I learned that it's okay to get some help cleaning the house and maybe pick up a few more meals than other moms do, but still be able to sit down and be present with my kids in the same way that I'd be present with anyone else. That's where I find balance, and prioritizing things, just knowing that my date night with my husband and my kids' games are equally as important as the meeting with my best client. It means the power to create, the power to give life, the power to transform. We do all of that. We bring so much to the world. I mean, we birth the world. It doesn't get much better than that. I think creativity, inspiring the next generation, coming into our own, all of these things make me think about the power of women, not shrinking, all of those things. I want my legacy to be that I helped people identify and achieve their purpose. I always say that my purpose is to help others fulfill theirs. I want it to be said of me that whoever was around me, whoever knew me, felt inspired and motivated to be who God created them to be when they were around me.